Hello, hello, Gemini. Welcome to your January 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Gemini. And before we get started, I just want to give a massive thank you to each and every one of you who are here. I absolutely appreciate you. I am so profoundly grateful for just the way that this channel has grown, and the only reason why it's even in existence is because of you all. So I really, really appreciate that. And if you would like more from me, check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. And you also get a free dealing with family meditation when you sign up for my newsletter. So you're welcome to check that out in the description box, as well as links to work with me. Remember, those of you who work with me are the reason why this channel is alive. I don't monetize my YouTube channel. And so just remember that if you've been wanting to work with me, that's how I literally do this work. So if you'd like to support, please consider working with me or getting a meditation or something in that capacity to keep this ship sailing. Okay. Without further ado, I am going to lay all of this out and then we will get started. Okay, let's get started with these oracle cards for you in January. First thing, Archangel Raphael, provider of healing from mind, body, and spirit. Okay, so just doing some deep healing, I think this would be a good time to double down on that. It would be a great time to invest in that because it seems like your body and mind are craving it. So keep this in mind. The Archangel Raphael is the supporter of all things healing. So it looks like there's not only luck with that, but the more attention that you pay to it, no matter what type of healing you're doing, it's something that is just going to have profound impacts this month. And then the animal card for you is Zebra. Every time I see this card, there's a reference to the third eye in here. And so remember that the third eye is where you are mapping out your next steps. So I think that is also part of what's coming through, is like imagining your future, daydreaming, fantasizing, kind of projecting into that space. So it seems like it should be a lot of fun for you to do this right here. It's just that imaginative, having fun with it, enjoying it, seeing and thinking about what's possible for you. And then we have focus, make a choice and take the appropriate next action. What you desire is worth your attention. Remove distraction. Put your intention into motion with thought and aligned effort. Okay, so just line everything up behind it. Remember, this is also referring to the third eye in the sense that if you see it, you identify something that you want, you need to back that up energetically. Thought alone is not what's going to make manifestation possible by any means. It is absolutely something that you have to energetically put yourself behind. Okay, here is the past for you. Seven of Wands, this is like a struggle or fighting really hard in order to make something work out. So I'm seeing this as moving out of this. Granted, it is about like claiming your light and knowing your truth. That's an important element here. But I'm seeing the frustration, the persecution, whatever energy is coming off of here that's regarding the friction, that's going to be shifting out for you this month. So let's see what's going on in the present. Two of Wands. Again, we go back to vision. All of this is just in service of you getting clear on your vision, taking action on your vision, understanding what you want, where you're going. All of that energy being put behind your desire is what's happening in January. So it's okay if you're in a position where you feel like it hasn't happened yet. Remember, we're always going to be in that space of wanting. There's always more to work on. It doesn't actually stop. So the more that you can just kind of get clear and get cozy in the ability to marinate in the desire, in the emotions themselves, the better off you're going to be. So don't demonize the journey. It's something that the more you can enjoy it, the better off you're going to be. The future card, we have Death. I love a good Death card only because it's showing rebirth. It's showing expansion. Like you might have that experience of feeling uncertain or unknown, and then all of a sudden the Death card is what shows a breakthrough. It shows a break in the pattern. It shows that there's real evolution happening. So personally, I really like this energy in the upcoming position. Let me clarify this. Eight of Stars. Okay, so yes, what you're working on, what you're putting your energy behind, that's what's shifting and transforming. So the Eight of Stars in this deck is like a hard work card, putting in the effort, putting in the time, putting in the energy, putting in the resources. Maybe it's regarding your healing, maybe it's not. Either way, it just seems that you're going to really come out the other end of this. So let's go ahead and look at your external world. This is all the stuff that's happening outside of you. Three of Coins. Okay, this is a really busy month. Let me clarify, or not clarify, but pull the other card first. And we have the Nine of Wands. Yep, January is going to be really fast-paced, really intense, what I'm getting from this. I mean, granted, it's something where you can pull your energy away from all of this and like ignore that energetically, but generally speaking, this is something that it's like, if you put in the work, if you put in the effort, things are going to really start accelerating. The one thing is that the Nine of Wands is basically temptation in overworking and leading to burnout. So the Ten of Wands is actual burnout, but the Nine of Wands is you're getting there, you're kind of tripping over yourself, this pace isn't sustainable. It's like a warning sign. Hey, you need to pump the brakes a little bit if you want to sustain this. Now, what I'm seeing from the external, the way that this is coming through is more about opportunities. So I'm seeing the Three of Coins and the Nine of Wands as like kind of your environment saying, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Do you want to spend time doing this? Do you want to spend time doing that? What, you know, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that you could say yes to. It may not be a good idea for you to say yes to everything in January. So you need to be very selective with what you want to put your energy behind. Get clear on your vision. Go back to your vision in order to really get a feel for what you want to back up, because then you can have an easier time weeding out what is and isn't right for you in this area. That way it's not going to just lead you to burnout, as I've mentioned. Now let's look at your emotional world, what's happening internally for you. Five of Wands, friction. So maybe you are kind of wanting to do it all. That could be something that's happening here, like, I'm bummed that I have to say no to this, or I'm bummed that I can't do every single thing. But this is about refining your vision, right? Because if you were to say yes to everything, that might not, it's kind of like you might be giving mixed signals as to what you want. Let me clarify the Five of Wands. Even though the Five of Wands is a problem-solving card, I love it, love it, love it. Judgment. Okay, so just make a decision about it. And that's the same thing with focus, is just pick one and stick to it. There's no point dwelling, should I have done that? Should I not have done that? Was that the right choice? It's kind of like you're never really going to know. So just feel into what's most aligned with your vision for the future, with what you're wanting to create for yourself. Pick it, stick to it. Don't spend any other time squandering away your energy on contemplating, I wonder if I made the wrong choice. Trust, anytime that comes up, I like to remind people, you need to trust God a little bit more, or universe, divine source, whatever you like to work with. And the reason being is that you're not going to miss where you are meant to go. Like you're really not. Don't sit on your hands. You know, that's not a good idea. But in terms of you getting to the place that you want to be or that you're meant to go, you're not going to miss it. And so that's where like the trivial choices or the small choices or the job decision, do I take this job or that job? It actually doesn't matter as much as I think we think it does. And we're going to get to where we're going no matter what. So just trust that, and it's going to save you a lot of energy if you just kind of tone down the friction internally. And this is advice for you in January. The moon, yep. So that uncertainty is not bad. It's not something that you necessarily need to demonize, because you're not going to have all of the answers ahead of time. There's no roadmap for you to just be like, oh, this is exactly where I'm going and this is exactly what I'm doing, and it takes all of the uncertainty out of life. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist, and so you kind of have to be okay floating in the unknown. So the more you're okay with that, and instead put your energy behind your vision, putting it behind the things that you want, that's how you're going to have greater success. So the moon is just highlighting that. Don't worry about feeling like you're floating around or you're purposeless or anything like that. All of this is going to come back down. We ebb and we flow. So you just kind of have to take the seasons as you need to, as they come. And so January, it's kind of like just make a choice and stick to it. There's no point in contemplating, what if I made the wrong decision? Just pick it and stick to it. And that's going to help temper the moon as well. You can kind of let this current carry you rather than thrashing and fighting against the current, which is completely pointless when we're talking about the moon. Okay, so let's get into the timeline, first, second, third, and fourth quarter of January. So, first quarter in January, we have the Five of Swords. Again, I'm seeing this more as the transition from feeling like you needed to fight really hard, or you needed to like prove yourself, or you needed to be understood, into just getting clear on your vision. Because the Five of Swords is like the end of a battle, an end to a struggle. So I think this is a really nice card to have here. This should be a reminder that things are going to temper out. We always have things coming up, right? That doesn't mean that your life is necessarily not going to have any speed bumps, of course. But this is just saying it's not going to be so much of a struggle. And I think that's a mental release that you're making mentally. Okay, the second quarter, we have the Eight of Wands. So really picking up the pace. I think once you kind of get over the, am I going to make the wrong choice? Am I going to do something wrong? Am I not doing enough? Am I doing too much? Like after you kind of get over that mental overthinking, spiraling, you really have a lot of space for things to pick up the pace. And so I see this as just being the point where you shift out of this, you just have your vision, and then all of your energy can kind of accelerate into that. The third quarter, we have the Ace of Swords, new ideas. This is clarity. So I think if you make a decision by the beginning of January, like you're just, I'm going to stick to this, this is what I'm doing, you're going to have clarity. Like if you're wondering, is this right for me or not? You can expect that pretty quickly in the third quarter. So it's like, try it out, see if it works. And then you're going to get that clarity, that mental aha in third quarter of January. So it's something that it's worth trying. It's worth making a decision about, kind of stepping away from the decision-making process and instead just picking one, sticking to it, seeing how it goes, and that's actually going to save a lot of energy. And then wrapping up the month, so the fourth quarter, we have the Two of Swords. I think this is coming up because we just had the Ace over here. This is clarity, and then who knows what that actually means, right? So for each and every one of you, it's going to look a little bit differently. And I just see that the Ace of Swords is something where you're gonna get the aha, you're gonna get the download, you're gonna get the info, the data you need, and then what you do with it is up to you. Is it something where you double down on action? Is it something where you need to pull energy back? Is it something where you need to pivot again? So that's why the Two of Swords isn't giving a whole bunch of information. Just because the data that you receive here is going to tell you what that next quarter how you need to approach that the following quarter. Okay, let's do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to pick a card, any card, as few or as many as you need. You can ask a question, ask for clarity or guidance. Take a deep breath into the diaphragm. Card number 1, the Hierophant. Boundaries, structure, and limitations and constraints are going to help you, because we need this. This is technically, if we're looking at what boundaries are, it's divine masculine. So that's a really important part, right? If we were exclusively, like if we had absolutely no masculine energy at all within us, then we wouldn't get anything done, right? The feminine would just kind of wash all of that away. So this is about fortifying the internal structures within you in order to make what you want a reality. And the Hierophant helps you do that by saying you need to implement some structures, you need to implement some boundaries, you need to limit the amount of time that you're whatever. I mean, I don't know, watching TV or, scrolling Instagram or anything like that. You can just set boundaries with yourself in order to better use your energy. And then card number 2, we have the High Priestess. Let your intuition, I don't want to say guide you necessarily. Everyone has a different relationship with that. But your intuition has the information that you need. So I'm getting this is going to be a great month to contemplate, get really quiet. I don't mean contemplate as in ruminate about a decision, but just like be quiet within yourself. Breathe, relax, come into your body, just deep breaths, and getting really quiet is where a lot of the inspiration and clarity is going to come through. So this is a powerful tool that's on your side. Card number 3, we have the 8 of Wands. So once again, I think that things are moving faster than you might realize. And they're moving faster than I think the way your mind is going to tell you. So the mind is always going to say you're not moving fast enough, you're not doing enough. And while sometimes, yeah, it's true that we're not doing enough, right? That can be true if we've been in a state of inaction for a really, really long time. But the 8 of Wands is just highlighting things are moving along, it's progressing, it's flowing, it's expanding, it's doing all of that stuff. So you don't need to put pressure on the situation by any means. All right, everybody, that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. I also host prayers and a tarot poll every Wednesday on my podcast, so make sure you check that out. Sunday messages, the link is in the description box. And until next time, don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you're more than welcome to work with me. Head over to onyxhealing.com to see all of the goodness that I offer. And I will talk to you all later. Have a beautiful month, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.